Kuala Lumpur Structure Plan 2020 is conducted in the belief that most of the policies of the 1984 Kuala Lumpur Structure Plan need to be updated as a result of the unprecedented economic boom and rapid changes in the last 20 years. So the plan is likely to include several reforms, for example like improvement in the capital's development planning, and then also involve resolving the traffic congestion, in particular in terms of the public transport services to enhance the quality of life of the urban dwellers. And then meanwhile, according to former Federal Territory Minister, which is Khalid Abdul Samad, he said that Kuala Lumpur Structure Plan for 2020 will be most likely to be released in the middle of November 2020. There are many programs under KL Structure Plan. For example, it includes the income and quality of life, commerce, tourism industry, and however, our group only focus on the major problem that happened in KL, which is the transportation problem. So, KL Structure Plan for 2020 has focused on this problem because this problem, however, still not settled yet until now. Transportation program under Kuala Lumpur Structure Plan 2020 involve the type of transportation that are very common in Malaysia. For example, as a public transportation, and then private transportation, road infrastructure, non-motorized transportation, and also freight transportation. So all of these transportation had their own existing problem that need to be solved by the government. So each of these transportation issue will be concerned by the government under this program, which is transportation program under Kuala Lumpur Structure Plan 2020.
Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. So I would like to explain about the issue of transportation system in Malaysia. The first issue is public transport did not cover some miles that public want to reach. The issue happens because some buses and LRT did not cover the area that the public wants. Most public in KL had to use their own car or use Grab to go to the place that they want. To even reach, they have to pay more. Other than that, the scattered placement of Malaysian cities make it difficult for the public transport to cover all areas. Then, the second issue is poor service. Most public transport fails in their punctuality. For example, the bus supposed to be arrived at 8 a.m. but however it arrived at the station 30 minutes later. One of the reasons of poor service is because the bus operators use conventional stage buses and they often need to wait for maximum passengers rather than following the scheduled times. For the third issue is safety concern. Lot of public transport issue happen due to many reported cases that involve irresponsible bus driver. As reported by the Straits Times 2017, the Malaysia Express bus during the journey to Muar had crashed and the accident had killed 14 people, including 3 Singaporeans. It was reported that the driver for the bus had drove in high speed and had drove for more than 8 hours without the second driver. Then, for the next issue is problem with the traffic. On 2018, TomTom Traffic Index had exposed that some drivers in KL lost 170 hours or 7 days and 2 hours stuck in rush hour traffic. Evening jam chokes traffic with 84% congestion, while morning rush records 63% congestion. As for the days, Friday has the highest drive time with 62% congestion, while Sunday is an easy drive at 11% congestion. The last issue is poor vehicle condition. The poor condition of public transport such as taxis and buses had caused the public doesn't want to take the public transport unless they had to. In Malaysia, many taxis still using the old cars such as Proton YUSOFF, which some of them did not have any functional air conditioner and a little bit dirty. About the mandate to solve the issue of transportation in Malaysia. The transportation issue in Malaysia is not a new issue. The issue that arises are public transport did not cover some miles that public want to reach, poor service, safety concern, traffic congestion, and poor vehicle condition. The policy that been introduced by the government is National Key Result Area (NKRA). Datuk Seri Najib Razak has introduced alternatives to the government by launching the first public transit system of the country using environmental sound technologies such as Bus Rapid Transit (BRT) Sunway Line. The BRT line was designed for an efficient, reliable, and convenient transportation system to reduce traffic congestion and carbon emission. This initiative under NKRA can help to reduce congestion and also can help the people to reach many destinations such as BRT Sunway Line has 7 stations. From Sunway Setiajaya to USJ7 in Subang Jaya and is linked to the Setiajaya KTM commuter station as well as the LRT system under construction in USJ7. Under the UTP NKRA, 5 work streams are created to ensure that passengers can journey with minimal stress from their point of departure to the final destination. Most of the Malaysians hesitate to use public transportation is due to the availability of the public transportation to reach the place that they want. It also will reduce the overcrowding problems of the monorail system, increase drivers for buses, create more car parks at railway station and enhance pedestrian linkage. By increasing the bus drivers, the safety can also be improved because they can help each other by taking turns to drive the bus. This can avoid accidents and the safety concern will be increased.
Next, me and AINA will explain about the SWOT analysis of this program. The first SWOT analysis of this program is strengths. Before I explain in details about the strength of this program, I would like to emphasize again the objective of this program. The objective of this program is to create an effective and sustainable urban environment for Kuala Lumpur, which aims at creating a robust and integrated transport network that meets the needs of inter and intra-city travel. Therefore, from this objective, we can recognize that one of the strengths of this program is to improve the transportation system in Malaysia in order for the citizens to have a better and quality of life. By implementing this project, all of the problems that usually happens in the urban area can be resolved, such as traffic congestion, parking difficulties, and also long commutes. This is because, according to an article by the Malaysian Insight, Malaysian people are still facing the difficulties to use the public transport as there are many issues that have not been solved by the government. Therefore, by implementing this program, all of the issues regarding public transportation can be resolved and will leave a good image of this country towards people from the other countries. The second strength of this program is to create an accessible and inclusive city system in order to give all members of the community equal access to all areas and services so that everyone can enjoy the full benefits of the city. This is because through this program, Kuala Lumpur Plan will now be built, improve and expand this transport infrastructure to serve the city and its people by 2020. People who live in the city will be easily to commute anywhere that they want to go, especially to those who use the public transportation as one of the way to reach to the office. By introducing this program also, the pollution in the city can be minimized and the health of the urban people can be improved. That's all for the strengths of this program. Now we will move to the weaknesses of this program.
Assalamualaikum. Next, I will explain the second point of the SWOT analysis, which is the weakness. The weakness encountered during this program is this program need for a long time to handle all the problem, especially regarding the public transportation. This means that the government is responsible for solving problems such as the bus station, maintenance, repair the public transport, repair the road infrastructure, and many more. The increasing number of the station bus public transport so the government will take a long time in this process. In addition, the improvement of the major roads, such as adding a new highway in order to reduce the traffic jam during the peak hours, also need for a few years to settle the project. To make sure that the project will be more efficient, the DBKL needs to monitor in every single that the agency involved. For example, on 19 May 2009, the second Finance Minister, Dato' Ahmad Husni Muhammad Hanazlah, stated that the government of Malaysia has agreed to repair the Puduraya bus station. Then the government need to take almost 4 years to settle this problem. As we know, in order to create a large plan or program in a long term, it needs a lot of cost to achieve a plan or program. In this plan of the government also involved in renovating the Puduraya station bus would cost 52.7 million. This shows that the cost of restoring public transport facilities are huge because every item must be selected according to the specifications set by the government. In addition, from 2000 to 2020, there has been an increase in the price of goods and many more, which has been resulted in the increasing the operating cost of growth. Furthermore, the sale price such as cement, iron and other tools are also increased. Thus, it implies that the private agency involved will make the demand rise slightly higher than the first 10 years of the plan. Last but not least, the government also have the budget for the cost to make the renovation for the road and bus and others. But for sure, the amount of the budget is not enough because there are a lot of things that the government should do to fulfill the public needs.
The third SWOT analysis is the opportunity. From this program also, there are a lot of opportunities that can be gained by this country and also the people. One of the opportunities that can be gained from this program is increase in the tourism industry. This is because when the transportation system of our country are improved, there will be a lot of tourists from other countries that would like to come to Malaysia in order to spend their holidays due to the convenience of the public transports. Other than that, the tourists also will feel comfortable and safe when travelling across this country while using the public transports such as buses, taxis, LRT and also KL monorail. The last opportunities of this program is increase in the revenue of this country. This is because when tourists are interested in coming to our countries for holidays, this can eventually help in improving the economics of our country. Other than that, the economy of our country also will be increasing from the fare that were paid by the tourists and also the people who are using the public transportation that were provided by the government. In order for these opportunities can be gained by our country, every citizen of Malaysia must play their roles in helping the government in improving the transportation system so that our public transport can be maintained in a good condition.
SWOT analysis is strict. In implementing this program, there are a few threats faced by the DBKL. The first threat are the action of individual person that has potential to deliberate harm life of workers and the property. This is because the attitude of the individual who cannot see the facilities provided works well. People often do bad things like treading on the station bus wall, throw rubbish everywhere, not only at the bus station but also in the bus and others. This will affect to the bus become gloomy. The facilities inside the bus are also affected, such as the belt is not working, the seat cannot be used so that the users cannot sit and so on. This represents as unreasonable act as all these public utility repairs need to be at a high cost. In addition, the DBKL staff who are involved in section transportation also empowered to file a complaint against an individual who has committed an offence. However, The individual are not follow the rules and regulations that have been stated. Therefore, the workers involved should give a compound to that individual. But the individual are dissatisfied with the action that have been taken and happen, such as threat, ridicule, and others. Then this will leave the worker's safety unsecure. The last point of the threat is the competition between the public and also the private transport. The public transportation provides great helps everyone reach their destination. However, there is a growing competition among road users who prefer to use private transport to save time and so on in order to book a vehicle. Therefore, some individuals will take other alternatives by using such as Grab, Maxim cars and others to go to their destination. This shows that the people are interested in using private transport compared to the public transport. The road users feel that the availability of the private transport is easier and they do not need to be involved with the public when traveling by their own car, although the cost is much more expensive than the public transport. In early 2020, the issue of the COVID-19 that has begun to spread in Malaysia. The government has taken the initiative to not require the public transport for the normal use. For example, at the beginning of the MCO, only vehicle available e-hailing were required by the community users moving to the destination, such as office and others. The results show that in the use of e-hailing transport, more privacy compared to the public transport, such as bus. This alternative that has been made by the government to prevent the society from being infected from the virus. That's all for the point of the SWOT analysis. Thank you.
The first challenge that Kuala Lumpur Structure Plan 2020 faced is time constraint. This can be seen when Kuala Lumpur City Hall, DBKL, launched the draft of Kuala Lumpur Structure Plan 2040 to continue the previous plan. The implementation of KLSP 2040 is to lead the development of the physical of the city for the next 90 years. Plus, the Mayor Datuk HISHAM thinks that the Kuala Lumpur Structure Plan 2040, which supervises the city's performance management for the next 20 years, is capable of ensuring the sustainable development of the city for all its citizens. This clearly showed that the objectives of KLSP 2020 could not be achieved for the past 17 years. The objectives of KLSP 2020 are to create an efficient and equitable city structure for Kuala Lumpur and to enhance the city living environment. However, none of the objectives are achieved yet. This proves that 17 years of implementing KLSP 2020 were not sufficient enough to overcome the issue of transportation. The time constraint has also incurred high costs in order to implement the new plan, as the previous plan has not succeeded. This has become the ground challenge for the BKL, as it eventually requires longer time and more funds to execute the new plan. The operational costs will increase due to the additional time in executing the new plan. For instance, the salary for the employees and the assets will be contracted for a longer term. This will lead the authority to realign their budget. Next, the KLSP 2020 faced the hardship of meeting the public demands. The effectiveness of KLSP 2020 becomes the argument between the public, as the public do not see any effectiveness of implementing KLSP 2020. This can be seen through when the KL residents were angry over no display of the draft KLSP 2040. A protest group criticized Kuala Lumpur City Hall, DBKL, and the former of Ministry of Federal Territories of their incompetence after some of the residents were told that the 2040 draft KL structure plan could not be ready as pledged in time. This clearly shows that there is no public cooperation with the BKL. This has caused the difficulty in executing the new plan. The incompetency of the BKL has caused the expectations from the public to become low on the new upcoming plan. In addition, the public demanded a lot of things from the BKL that caused the DBKL difficulties in fulfilling the demands. The examples of demands required by the public are the requirement of affordable housing, potential jobs, public and leisure facilities to meet people's needs, and also enhancing environmental and urban sustainability. The demands required by the public incurred a very high cost because fulfilling their demands would mean investing more funds into uncertain outcome of implementation. The last challenge that KLSP 2020 faced is conflicting authority. In the futures of the multiple agencies accountable for Kuala Lumpur's transportation network, there is an amount of correlation and redundancy that has spurred to conflicting policies or programs in some situations. This has made it harder to develop clear public and private transport policies. This observation is in accordance with the viewpoints of Birkenhoff in 1996 that some of the complications that resulted in agency conflict arose from legal obstacles placed by legislation and administrative laws. It has been shown that there is no formal authority or role of state and local authorities in public transportation policy. While the local authority is supposed to be an implementing agent, the lack of financial and human resources allocated for this has hindered their critical involvement in ensuring the successful implementation. The lack of a clear knowledge of the importance of each agent in the transport-related collaboration may have led to people acting for cross-purpose reasons, in many scenarios trying to advance their individual agency objectives at the cost of transport development. The ambiguity problem can reflect itself when one organization interprets coordination as heading towards subordination. Too many agencies involved cause no centralized coordination, and conflicts in making decisions is one of the challenges in executing this plan.
The first suggestion that we could suggest to the government in order to solve the problem of transportation is, first, we could suggest to promote the use of car sharing. So, car sharing, it means that when two or more individuals travel together by using the same car. So, the travelers ordinarily make a commitment towards the driver's fuel cost. It means that those who share the car will share also to pay for the driver's fuel car. So, car sharing may be formal and also informal. So, in Malaysia, it is quite common for colleagues or those who share the same workplace to go to work together by using the same car. So, car sharing will ease up on the activity congestion and indeed will diminish the amount of time in order to find for the parking. And also particularly in bustling region, especially in Bangsa and also Pataling Jaya. The government should promote the use of car sharing in order to reduce the heavy traffic. So especially the government should promote the colleague, those who work together in the same organization, to work together in the same car, especially for those who live in the urban area. So sharing car among colleagues will help to reduce the traffic, since at the same time also will reduce the amount of car in the highway. So the reducing amount of car in the highway also will give chance to other public transport from delaying their journey because of the bad traffic. So other than that, it also will reduce the number of cars in highway, especially during the peak hours, which will help in reducing the issue in problems with traffic, especially in big cities such as Kuala Lumpur. So, the second suggestion that we could suggest to the government is by conduct the continuous inspection towards the public transport driver. So, there must be a persistent inspection and also observation on the transport drivers. So, this is because in order for us to ensure that they follow all of the traffic rules and also directions. Besides that, the continuous inspection must be done in order to prevent any bad things from happening towards the public safety. The inspection could be done by conduct the monthly health checkup, especially conduct a drug test for every of the public transport driver in order to prevent any illegal use of drug among the public transport drivers, by which it could affect the safety of the public, of course. And then furthermore, by installing more security features, such as installing the closed-circuit television, or known as CCTV, inside the public transport such as bus, taxi, LRT, MRT, and also could be installed in e-hailing such as Grab or Uber. So this installment is important in order to monitoring the behavior of the driver and also the public for 24 hours, so that the government and also us can prevent any bad incident happen by installing those security TV. The third suggestion that we could suggest to the government is by reduce the number of pickup and discharge station of the passenger. So the reduction of numbers in the pickup and discharge station will reduce the total of travel time, which it will make the public transport services, especially bus, to be more efficient and prevent the slowness of the public transport. Besides, it also helps in increasing the comfort of the passenger. This is because the passenger will no longer need to wait for a long time, and also they also need time to arrive at their destination due to the more amount of the station that the bus had to pass by. So by reducing the number of pickup and discharge station of the passenger, this way also could help in solving the some miles that public want to reach that public transport did not cover. Furthermore, by reduce the amount of the discharge and pickup of the passenger, it also will help in ensuring the smoothness of the traffic flow and the traffic operations. So this is because when there are few numbers of the station, so there will be few numbers of location that the public transport also will reach, especially in the area that are known for its heavy traffic. So just like the other method, this suggestion also help in reducing the operation cost of the public transport, since the reduction of the station will also reduce the use of the fuel, which at the same time also will help in reducing the pollution, especially in urban area. So the last suggestion that we could suggest to the government is by use a new model of the public transport. So as can be seen in Malaysia itself, we could notice that there are lots of all model of public transport, especially taxi, in which taxi, as we can see today, most of the taxi in Malaysia, they still use the old model of car, which is Proton Saka. So as for this suggestion, we suggest that the government try to use a new model for the public transport. By using a new model of public transport will help in solving the issue of poor condition of the public transport, and at the same time too, it also help in ensuring the safety of the public. And then besides that, new model of public transport, especially bus, taxi, not only will help in the environment in reducing the air pollution, because of the new technology that is invented at the new car, by which most of the vehicles today are eco-friendly. Okay, besides that, by using a new model of the public transport also could help in reducing the total of the travel time, which also will help the public transport from late of arrival. And then not to forget also that by changing the old model to new model also will help in attracting more public to use the public transport. So this is because the new model will attract more passengers, because the new model will increase the comfort of the passengers. And then moreover, the new model also will help in increasing the safety of the public transport and reducing the operation cost of the public transport, which also will be the attraction factor for the customer to start using the public transport.
And what we had discussed before in the previous slide, we would like to conclude that this program of the Kuala Lumpur Structure Plan in terms of transportation has provided a lot of benefits and advantages towards our country. Other than that, by introducing this kind of program also has been one of the initiatives by the Malaysian government in improving the transportation system in this country. Although there are a lot of advantages that we can receive from this program, but there are still weaknesses that we have to improve and also traits that we have to look for in order for this program to successfully implement in our country. The government also need to monitor every program that were implemented in this country so that the program can last for a long time without having any issue arise. Therefore, the effectiveness of this program can give positive impact towards our country and also the citizen. That's all from us. Thank you for watching our video and Assalamualaikum.